It's not a small thing to say that having friends and being able to be socially competent is an extraordinarily vital, I would say precarious thing for an elderly brain. And if elderly brains feel shut in and your mom and your dad feels like nobody is visiting them and they get systemic inflammation, you can hobble their ability to think. Cultivate friendships. Learn how to become a friend. Then have lots of them and sustain them over a long period of time. Number 2, cultivate family ties. It's actually a much more predictive of social interactions, mostly because you're stuck with your family. So if you have problems with your family, one of the best things you can start doing is start repairing your relationships now, because it's already declining and you're going to depend on them later. And finally, if you've got elderly loved ones, do the same thing for them as recommendations number 1, become a friend, and recommendation number 2, repair your family life. So I have some pieces of advice that's probably anchored fairly well in the peer-reviewed literature. After age 24, learn to cultivate and maintain an active base of friends, interact with them often. 24 is not too early to start, neither is 65. Recommendation number 2, actively cultivate, maintain, and repair familial relationships. 24 is not too early to start, neither is 65. And then finally, recommendation number 3, for your elderly loved ones, make sure they follow recommendation number 1 and recommendation number 2. Not for any other reason, if you will, than self-survival. But the more you do that for others, the more you will help yourself. Harness the power of nostalgia. Step number 1, this is for your loved ones. Designate a living area as a nostalgia room for your loved one's brain. Mom, dad, grandpa, uncle, beloved mentor. Step number 2, calculate your loved one's reminiscence bump years. And step number 3, fill the nostalgia room with objects and experiences from the calculated reminiscence bump years. Make sure it is multisensory. The better you can get it, the more multisensory you can make it, the better. And for you in the 24 to 30-year-old, I have another piece of advice. Start collecting objects, tokens, and experiences from your own reminiscence bump years. Put them in storage to get ready to make your own frickin' room. If you want to change in memory and finger length and executive function and all the things that come by a routine recommitting of your brain to a dopamine metabolism.